When people say that they speedrun a Mario Kart game, it sometimes raises some confusion. How do you speedrun Mario Kart? Isn't the point already to just go as fast as you can? And they're often right. For most Mario Kart games, the run consists of just driving around each track as quickly as you can. It doesn't look like much of a speedrun, but more just someone being really good at Mario Kart. Mario Kart 64, however, is a little bit different. The speedrunning scene for this game has had a really long history, one that goes back to pretty much right after the game came out in 1996. Most players are just focused on the time trial mode, where they try to beat each track, or just a lap of each track, as quickly as they could. Dozens of players held a world record at some point or another in the time trial mode, and over time, each track had its time slowly come down. This has led to some of the most optimized world records in any game that I'm aware of. When time comes off of a time trial world record today, it's never by more than a couple of frames. But one other thing that these players quickly discovered was just how broken Mario Kart 64 truly was. Nearly every track had some sort of unintentional shortcut or skip that you could do to drastically speed the time up. Some were easy, some were hard, and soon, in addition to the standard time trial races of racing around each track without any shortcuts, people began to do races with these shortcuts included as well. This went on for more than a dozen years. All of these world records are well documented on MarioKart64.com and are still being lowered to this day. Eventually though, people decided to start doing something a little different with the game. Instead of only racing one track at a time, or in some cases, even just a lap at a time, runners began to do full runs of the entire game. They would play the 150cc mode, the fastest mode, and go through the game, lap by lap, track by track, cup by cup. If they did it without using shortcuts, it was 150cc no skips. If they used shortcuts, it was 150cc skips. Both categories are ran today, but the one that has received much more attention is the one that I think really redefines what Mario Kart speedrunning is all about: 150cc skips. So just how broken is this category? To answer that, we'll start by looking at one of the first runs of the category with video evidence, 3211 by DNTN31 in February of 2013. He started off by doing this skip on Luigi Raceway with a blue shell, sending him through the roof and skipping half a lap. The blue shell works a little differently in this game than in the recent ones. You shoot it on the ground, and it hits anybody in its path on the way to the first place driver. This balloon always gives you a blue shell, which is usually only available to people in the back. Shooting this item in first place means that it will come right back and hit you, shooting you up into the air and allowing you to skip the half lap. The next course, Moomin Farm, doesn't have any skips, and the next one, Koopa Troopa Beach, doesn't either. Although it does have a glitch where if you go next to the finish line, the game thinks you're in 8th place, and if you use an item during this brief period of time, you get an 8th place item, which could be something useful like a star or a mushroom. Calamari Desert, the last course in the Mushroom Cup, has a major one. There's a trick players do called sandbagging, hanging back and dropping into 8th place at the start to try and collect a specific item that you need. Normally, an item that can only be obtained on one of the lower rankings. By doing this to collect a star at the start, you are then able to go into the tunnel, drive halfway through, and turn around and activate the star, which skips a lap. This was intended to be an Easter egg where you drive into the tunnel and activate a star, continue driving, and eventually do end up a lap ahead, but speedrunners found this way to abuse it. Toad's Turnpike, the first course in the Flower Cup, wasn't designed too well. The rails on the side are fairly easy to hop through. As it turns out, if you hop through the railing, then get placed down on a specific spot, and immediately turn and hop through again, you'll go all the way through and land on the track below, skipping half a lap. As if this wasn't enough, once reaching the finish line again, all the player had to do was hop into the railing again, and Lakitu would get confused and put him back down halfway through the lap. Frap Snowland is extremely broken. There's a trick at the start that anybody can do without any difficulty. If you hop off of the bridge at the start directly onto the snow, like this, and drive out of bounds, Lakitu will place you back on the bridge, except you're going to be a lap ahead. Do this 3 times, and you'll have completed the course in about 30 seconds. Choco Mountain is the first course to have you jump over walls. By driving straight at a wall and jumping on the exact right frame, you can jump over it. Unfortunately, sometimes this jump is impossible to make. When you drive at a wall, the area where pressing the jump button to work is sometimes smaller than the frame. In other words, if you get unlucky, your kart travels a longer distance in a single frame than the window you would need to jump. If this happens, your player tumbles like this, and you're forced to try again. The first place where you can do it is against here. If you miss it, you can go back and jump off of this wall. Curiously, Dotman opted to not go for these tricks at all in his run. Perhaps he felt them to be a little bit too risky. Mario Raceway has a skip that you can do right here by getting a speed item like a mushroom or a star. By activating it and jumping at the right time, you can completely clear it and save a large amount of time. Dotman didn't go for this trick in his run either, possibly because of the time it would take if you missed it. Heading into the Start Cup, Wario Stadium can potentially be the fastest track in the entire game. If done correctly, you can simply keep doing this over and over. Unfortunately, the 0 frame jump sometimes applies here, resulting in a time that can be much slower. After a few more courses without any real major skips, we go into the Special Cup. The first track here is DK Jumbo Parkway. By driving into this wall at a perfect angle, you clip straight through into the cave and go past the finish line, which extends out to the left. If you do this correctly 3 times in a row, you can finish the track in well under a minute. Yoshi Valley has a famous skip that requires a mushroom or star. If you line up just right and jump over at just the right time, you can hit the exact seam on the wall that you need. When Lakitu drops you back down, you'll be a lap ahead. Ideally, you want to get triple mushrooms for this to work so that you can do it once on each lap. Unfortunately though, the odds in getting triple mushrooms is no better than 25%, so it's a pretty big risk to go for. Naturally, since he was on a good pace, he didn't go for this trick. Finally, after the skipless Banshee Boardwalk comes Rainbow Road, which features this famous skip at the start to cut out much of the track. Do it 3 times, once on each lap, and you're saving a boatload of time. In all, this is an extremely broken category, and DNTN's 3211 runs seem to be pretty insane. But little do they know, this was just the beginning of the slippery slope that the world record for 150cc would go down. Dotman 1337 was the next runner to sort of completely take over the skips category. By executing the tricks that DNTN did better and more quickly, by getting 0 framed a little less often, by going for the skips on Choco Mountain, and by going for the triple mushrooms on Yoshi Valley, he pushed the time all the way down to 30:26 by December of the same year. But let's fast forward to a couple of days later. Here's Dotman on a run of 150cc skips. He's off to a good start, has a good mushroom cup, builds a good lead after Frap Snowland. After some missed skips and a bit of sloppy driving though, he falls back behind. Nothing too crazy, he has a pretty lackluster special cup and goes into Rainbow Road 20 seconds behind. World record should be impossible, but after getting to the end of lap 1, he does this. And once he does it once, he does it again. Track done, run done, 28:52, new world record by nearly a minute and a half. Let's take a look at what happened here. After doing the standard skip at the start, Dotman needed to get a green shell, which he got. By launching it against the wall and driving into it at a perfect time, you can get thrown from the track, and assuming you have enough forward momentum, go past the finish line and complete the lap. Lakitu will set you back behind the finish line, and you do the trick again with another green shell, drive forward, and run over. About half a year later, partially thanks to a new start skip on Luigi Raceway, which lets you skip half a lap instantly, Dotman once again lowered the record, down to 28:36. While he didn't have all of the time trial records, it seemed that Dotman was the premier 150cc skips player, and nobody else could catch him. So here we are a few months later, in October of 2014. This is Mario Kart 64 runner Flippy. As you can see here, his personal best was 1.5 minutes behind the world record. He was definitely a good Mario Kart 64 runner, but certainly wasn't considered to be a world record contender by many people. On this particular run though, it seemed like everything was aligning. He got skip after skip, and gained more and more time over his personal best. He knew he had a truckload of time to gain in the last cup, so once he got triple mushrooms on Yoshi Valley, he knew he was going to have a chance.
Yes! Fuck yes! Oh my god, I got the RNG. Where's the spot?
After getting to 1 minute and a half going into Rainbow Road, he needed to get the green shell skips.
Yes! Yes! Okay, yes! Second, okay, skips a lap because you pass the finish line and then it pushes you back on the track where you were already. And I have the second green shell. I literally just need to execute with this and it's world record. Yes! Okay, is this it? Is this good enough? I think it's actually there. I think it's there. There's tense. Yes, this is it. This is world record. Yes! Fuck yes!
Meet Abney317. His personal best was very similar to Flippy's old personal best, 29:50. And just like Flippy did, he got on a ridiculous run, and this happened.
Yes. Yes. Clutch. Is this it? Oh my god. Oh my god. World record. There it is.
Alright, Abney got the world record. I'm sure that'll be the last we hear of Abney, right?
Wrong!
It's back. But I end up with a 216.66. Hit my green. 27.51. Oh my god! Dude. I could. What the heck? What did I just do?
27:31. Oh my god, dude.
So yeah, it turns out Abney was pretty good at Mario Kart 64. By June 2015, he took the record down to 27:31. There must have been new strategies that he did to help him take it down another full minute, right? Nope. He just did everything perfectly because his name's Abney. That's how it is. He got unbelievably consistent with every trick in the game. A few days after getting to 27:31, he got on another run that was slowly fading by the time he got to Rainbow Road, thanks mostly to a slightly sketchy Wario Stadium. Even getting a gold split on Rainbow Road wouldn't get him the world record, so he decided to go for a trick at the start known as the spiral jump. Normally, when you jump off at the start of Rainbow Road, you land here. To the left of here, further up the track, is a spiral. If you do a series of really difficult inputs that includes braking, turning at just the right time, and jumping at just the right time, you can actually jump all the way to the spiral and save 10 more seconds. The issue was, this trick was really hard, and especially given the nerves you would have at the end of a run, nobody would be expected to get even close to getting it.
Oh my god. No way. with the wall hit. Oh my god, dude. If this happens, this would be so crazy.
Even after getting it, he needed green shells, and a perfect setup to get the green shell skips at the end. It was going to be close.
Oh my god, dude. Did I do this? I think I got it. The greatest comeback, dude. No way. I cannot believe this. What? The huge gold split. I just got a gold split by like 20 seconds.
Just another day in the life of Abney 317. Shortly after, it was discovered that there was another way to do that jump on Rainbow Road. If a heavyweight opponent gets in second place on Banshee Boardwalk, so they start Rainbow Road right next to the runner, and you drive into them with a boost and jump off of them, this could potentially happen.
Get there. Get there. Yes! Let's go.
Thanks to that glitch, and some good playing throughout the rest of the run, Abney dropped the record down another 4 seconds.
27:17.
Since the time was a low 27 by now, Abney figured that a good goal for himself would be to get some sort of 26-minute time. Over the following months, he was on pace for it multiple times, but lost runs due to not getting triple mushrooms that he needed on Yoshi Valley.
Please. Dang it, dude. Any run.
Finally though, he had a beautiful run, and actually got the triple mushrooms on Yoshi Valley. Bowser, the heaviest character in the game, came in second place, so he was all set up to do the CPU jump on Rainbow Road. Here's how it went. This run was a crushing blow. It seemed like the run just couldn't quite get strung together. Something would always go wrong, whether it be RNG or runner error. But in early May 2016, something major was discovered that would forever change the category. The red shell skip on Luigi Raceway, the first track in the run. If you either went backward or forward to get an 8th place item and got triple red shells, you could use one on each lap to launch you on the top of the grass here. And when Lakitu puts you back down, you'll be a lap ahead. One thing to note though, this trick only works on the Japanese version of the game, so all future runs that Abney did of this category had to be on the Japanese cartridge. Doing this correctly saves more than 20 seconds over the old route, so each run that Abney did with this strategy saved at least 20 seconds right out of the gate. If this wasn't enough, around the time that this was discovered, people found out that if you got triple red shells on Mario Raceway, you could do this. Unsurprisingly, Abney was able to get a couple of quick PBs with the help of these tricks, and later that same month, even though parts of the run were sloppy, he was able to get the 26.
26:48.
Still though, the triple mushrooms that were needed on Yoshi Valley for a good run were really brutal. Abney needed to find a way around it, and luckily for him, he found one. If you take the correct path around Yoshi Valley, jump right here, and hit the right seam on the wall, for whatever reason, the game gets confused and skips a lap. So ideally, you would do this jump off of the start with the boost to skip the first lap, which is hard to do, but then again, this is Abney we're talking about. Then drive around to do the lap skip here, get placed down, and finish off the lap. It would only be a bit more than 5 seconds slower than triple mushrooms, and required no RNG whatsoever. Armed with this new Yoshi Valley strategy, Abney set out to continue lowering the record. He set a goal in mind. He was going to get a 25-minute run. He slowly lowered it, but it was soon obvious that a 25 was going to require a nearly flawless run, both RNG-wise and execution-wise. Eventually though, he was on 25 pace going into Rainbow Road. He got the CPU jump and got the green shells. All he needed to do now was execute the trick twice.
Man.
Even though he didn't get it on this run, it wasn't longer than a couple of weeks before he had another shot at it.
Let's go, dude. Insane run. Completely insane. I missed the Yoshi Valley YOLO jump. Like, that's it. Oh my god. It's like, other than that one thing, this is like a perfect run. I don't...
And as of today, 25:49 is where the world record stands. Mario Kart 64 has been speedrun pretty much ever since it came out. Even though it doesn't receive all the attention that games like Super Mario 64 or Ocarina of Time do, its dedicated community has been one of the most diligent and patient group of players ever seen. Players like Abney continue to test what their limits are, and figure out how low they can push the time down to. And odds are we're not done yet. Abney is still streaming skip attempts on his Twitch page, and there's several other runners that could go for the record in the future. But right now, 25:49 is ridiculously optimized, and does such a crazy category great justice. Thanks for watching everyone, see you next time.